So I've been streaming here on Twitch for 5 years. Today is my 5-year stream anniversary. My very first stream was February 16th, 2019. I played Doom 2 for 2 hours on a laptop with a built-in webcam and microphone. I had 6 people come by. Only 2 of them spoke, and both were trolls. And that was my introduction to Twitch.tv. And it's hard to believe that it's been 5 years. But today I want to share with you 5 tips or 5 lessons, things that I've learned over 5 years that have helped me, and hopefully they can help you too. First one is to get 1% better every single time. Every time you go live, to get 1% better. And here's what I mean by that. Here's like the practical application that I've done is every time I've streamed, I have improved one thing. I don't try to do major overhauls. There's been a few times where I've done that over the years, but they're very few and far between. Most of the time, I do one thing. I improve one thing every single stream. So, you know, month to month, you might not see much difference, but over years, you'll see a huge difference. Whenever I look back at my stuff, even from a year ago, I can see a noticeable difference. But over 5 years, it's night and day. It's just funny to go back to my earliest stuff and look at it, because it's just like, man, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Like my audio sounded like trash, camera, the way that I did things on stream, even the way I speak, the way I sit or look at the camera, little bitty things. There's a million things you can work on and you can improve. But if you try to do it all, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to whoa, I froze. You're going to put down you're going to put it down and just walk away, because you're going to get overwhelmed and get frustrated. So I try to just improve one thing every single stream and leave it at that. A lot of times y'all don't even notice, and that's okay. I know that this thing is a little bit better than it was last time. And so I try to do that every single time. So that's the first one, is 1% better every single time. Number 2 is, and I wasn't even sure how to word this, but I'm just going to say, have a plan. Have a plan. Have something to say. Have a general idea, a general direction of where that stream is going to go. A lot of people will just have some time, want to play a game, and will just be playing their game and say, well, I'm playing, I might as well stream. Click the go live button and just keep playing their game. And that's certainly a strategy, but that's not the best way to go about things, because what's going to set that particular stream apart from all the other streams you've done, and also from everyone else who's playing the same game as you. So having a plan, knowing what you're going to do on that stream, like, I get it. Streaming is live, so it's gonna go all over the place. Stuff's gonna happen. People are gonna say things. Someone's gonna do something, or some live thing is gonna fall apart, whatever. It's not gonna go exactly how you plan, but have some kind of idea of where you want that stream to go. For me, because my content primarily consists of Bible study, prayer, and then playing a game, I know what we're going to be studying or reading in the Bible that day. That's a big chunk of the content. So I have that prepared beforehand, at least to a rough degree. And then I know after that, we're going to be spending time in prayer. And then after that, I know what game I want to play that day. So I have a bare bones, rough draft outline of what that stream is supposed to look like. And then you kind of roll with the punches, and whatever happens, you adapt and you just make it happen. Like, for example, today, I told y'all what the plan was. We're going to have these 3 talks. We'll have some time of prayer, and then we're going to be playing some games. That's the plan. I have a general idea. I didn't know we weren't going to get into this part until 50 minutes in. I didn't know I was going to have to wear the green dino costume and eat a Bean Boozled right off the bat, but you roll with the punches. It's live, so you flow with it. Another part of that one, part of part 2, is communicate that plan. So you have a plan, and then be prepared to communicate it. Not only in the stream, like I do at the beginning of every stream, and try to remind y'all what we're doing today, but also put that out in other places. Post that to your social media, post that to Discord. Let people know in your community what they can expect from you on that day. So 1% better every time. 2, have a plan. Number 3, this one y'all have heard me say so often too, ignore the noise. Ignore the noise. Winston Churchill has one of my favorite quotes of all time. He said, if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks, you'll never get to your destination. You're always going to have critics. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have people who feel that it is their duty in life to let you know what they think that you should be doing or what you're doing wrong or whatever. You have to learn to ignore the noise, because if you're creating content in a public setting, a public arena, regardless of what kind of content you're doing, you're putting stuff out there, they're gonna give their opinion. That's just the nature of the internet. They're gonna let you know what they think. That's YouTube comments, that's Twitch trolls, that's just people online who maybe are doing it from a place of love. Like, hey, I love your content. I would love to see you do this, or I think you should do that, or you should probably stop doing that. You should has always been one of my like little trigger words. Just my whole life is, if someone tells me I should do something, I'm probably like, by nature, I'm going to do the opposite just because you told me I should. That's how I've always been. I've had to, over the years, had to learn to get that under control, so I don't do that as much anymore. But that's just like my natural response is, if someone tells me you should do this or you shouldn't do that, I want to do the opposite. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, learn to ignore the noise, because like if you, again, stop and throw stones at every dog that barks, you're never going to get where you're going. If you know what it is that you want to do and the content you want to create, don't let anyone shut you down. Don't let anyone slow you down. Go after it with everything you have. The haters, they're going to fall to the wayside. They're going to get bored. They're going to get tired of, chewing you up, spitting you out. Let them, whatever. Let people talk. That's fine. You keep moving. You keep going forward. You keep doing, following and chasing your dream, your content. The right people will come alongside. The right people will be there, will support, will help. So learn to ignore the noise. Easier said than done. This is one of those things, anything online, where you have to have thick skin and keep a soft heart. Not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, on to number 4. So that's 1% better every time. Have a plan, ignore the noise. And number 4, don't be afraid of deep conversations. Don't be afraid of deep conversations. This is one of those that I think scares a lot of people, and people are missing out on deeper connection with their audience. We come to Twitch to watch games. We come to be entertained. We come for different reasons. Some people come for the kind of content that I produce and to learn about the Bible and, have prayer time and that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of why people come to Twitch is to be entertained, to watch someone play a game they like, or to play a game with someone, a game that they enjoy. But if we, on the creator side, if we're so focused on just playing the game, being entertaining, that we shun deep conversations, we're missing out on deeper connection with people. Because we have to remember, behind every name is a real person. That's something that it took me a while to really click and understand. Even though I'm a people person and I pastor people at my church, and I feel like I'm doing Peter Piper pick the pickle peppers, a lot of P's there. I pastor people and all that, but it took me a while to really click with the idea and just realize that, hey, every person here, every username that you see is not just a username. Every person, it's a person. We're all people with our own backgrounds, our own stories, our own thoughts, feelings, opinions on things. And we're going through real stuff. So I think it's important to look for the appropriate times to have those conversations, but to not shy away from them. I'm going to brag on someone some of y'all, most of y'all may not even know. I didn't know this person until recently. We raided this streamer, I don't know, a few weeks ago or something. It was someone that Sunshine had recently found, and she recommended this person. And I've been watching a lot of the streams. Her name is Clipper. She doesn't know I'm sharing this, but I want to brag on her because she did a very good job of this with her community yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. I was in there watching, and she does speed runs. She's well known for doing like Mega Man X speed runs. Hold on. But she's been practicing Super Mario World in this certain category, like no Star World, no cape. And it's been really fun. But she, sorry, she got saved not too long ago. I don't actually know her whole story, but just within the past few years, because she was talking about how in her earlier videos, whenever she goes back and listens and she's, you know, cussing and doing all this stuff, she's like, it's hard to watch. But people go to her stream to be entertained and to watch speedrun content. That's what she does, and she knows that. She knows her content. But now that she is a believer, and recognizes that this community that she has, these people, these friends and relationships that she's built with people over the years, she has not been afraid to shy away from those deeper conversations. So I don't remember how it came up exactly, but somehow the topic of faith came up just a couple days ago. And she shares, you know, it's a common thing that they talk about, but they really went deep on it a couple days ago. And she laid the gospel out, just, I mean, as clear as day. A wonderful gospel presentation. And there was pushback. Like, hey, I grew up in church, but I don't believe all that. You're not going to convince me otherwise, whatever. And she had to navigate that with kindness and gentleness and love, but she did a very good job of that. And through that entire conversation, people knew that she was doing it from a place of gentleness, of kindness, of real, genuine care. And that kind of stuff doesn't have to be faith-based stuff. I'm just saying deep conversations build deeper connections. So you could tell after that, even though it may have ruffled some feathers, that people were even closer to her after the conversation. So we see that a lot on this stream because that's my primary content, is deep conversations, is talking about God and life and the Bible and faith and death and whatever, like these big major topics, right? That's what we do. But don't be afraid of deep conversation, because if people are just coming by to watch a game, have fun, laugh a little bit, and then move on, then yeah, you've done your job in entertaining them and playing a game with them, but there's no real connection. There's no lasting connection from that. So remember, it's real people behind the usernames, and don't be afraid to go deep and have real and difficult conversations. And then number 5, the last one. So 1% better every time. Have a plan, ignore the noise, don't be afraid of deep conversations. And the 5th one is stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. There's a million ways to say this one too. Be yourself. You are the only you that there is. Don't try to be like someone else. Figure out who you are and what sets you apart, and then go all in on it. You may be like, well, why would anyone want to watch that? Someone does. Someone does. If you put your genuine, authentic self out there, people will, the right people, again, ignore the noise, but the right people will find you, will love your content, will come alongside you, will be with you for the long haul. There are so many people that are a part of this community because of a game that I played way back when, but because we had those deep conversations, and because I've been true to who I am, we've built lasting relationships and friendships. And I can look at people in this community and say, oh yeah, I remember we met whenever I was playing this, or we met whenever I was playing that game. But there was something else there, more than just the game. So this is a really tough one to do, honestly, to figure out who you are, what sets you apart, and how to capitalize on that. But it's worth the time investment. It's worth the work to figure that out for yourself, because otherwise you're gonna end up trying to copy and emulate people that you like or that you look up to, and eventually you'll get tired of it. But if you're not trying to pretend to be something, you're just being yourself, you're never going to get tired of that. So, again, it's comes back to a life skill, something that a lot of us had to, or maybe are still trying to figure out, like growing up, like high school, college, young adult type age, trying to figure out who I really am and to be comfortable with that, to be comfortable in my own skin and say, I'm not going to be everyone's favorite. That's okay. There are going to be people that like me. There are going to be people that I can build friendships and relationships with, and I'm going to roll with it. So, those are my 5 tips that I've learned over 5 years, and I hope that they can be helpful to you. Try to improve one thing every time. That's a super practical thing. Just one improvement every day. It might be just a slight shift to the camera angle, or a mic setting, or something in the background, or tweaking a performance thing on your PC or whatever. Have a plan. Go into every stream with an idea, with something to say, with a bare bones and outline of what the stream should look like. Learn to ignore the noise. Let the haters say what they're going to say. Let them hate. Let the critics do their thing. They'll get bored. They'll move on. The right people will stick with you. Remember the Winston Churchill quote. Also, don't be afraid of deep conversations. Go deep with people. Build real, genuine connection. And that often happens over deep conversations. And stay in your lane. Figure out who you are and be comfortable in your own skin. The right people are going to find you. The right people are going to like who you are and what you produce, and they'll come alongside you. Bonus tip, grow a beard. Yes, that's right.